Oh, we'll be silly.
No.
I'm happy to be silly.
Yeah.
Dean, I don't give a flying flip if it's Dylan Moore. You sit your ass at the Shabbos table till 10 o'clock and then you can go do your thing. Ben Key, you can choose any.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
he's
we need a
actually-
forward.
We need a forward.
I might. Wait,
on.
hold on. I'm not
Yeah.
talking. Ben Keys.
Yeah.
What? Why?
I've actually heard the only thing less likely than a North Melbourne win is Chase making a sale at work.
What's that? That's
Backs. Yeah.
Mids, forwards.
Harry. Ooh, Adams, 89.
Welcome back to Dos and Toss. No podcast this week, but I'm going to be doing my 2025 finals predictions. We're on Squiggle and we're looking at the finals. Who am I going to tip? This is completely off the dome, so I'm going to go through the games and give a bit of reasoning as to who I think will win, why they will win, and keen to kind of see where we end up and what pathways the teams are going to go. So it starts on Thursday night. Adelaide Collingwood 1v4. A lot of people are wary of Adelaide. They're not going as well as their form line says. I think they've won 8 or 9 in a row, but no ranking. How much is that going to cost them? It definitely will cost them a bit, and he is a match winner, but Collingwood also don't have Bobby Hill. Bo McCreary might be a bit undone. How's Jordan De Goey going to go? Nick Dacos has a sore Achilles. So I'm going to tip Adelaide. I don't think Collingwood are going that well either. I think at home, it's going to be a close game again, and I think there's going to be a lot of controversy in this game, as there seems to always be with Adelaide and Collingwood. So first tip is the Adelaide Crows on Thursday night. There we go. All right. Giants v Hawthorn. This is really hard to tip. Initial thoughts, Hawthorn have never won at NG Stadium. I believe they're 0-8 there. And I rate Hawthorn. I really do rate them. But the Giants, when they're on, especially in the midfield, I don't think Hawthorn can really go with them. How much can Warple, Newcomb, Ward, how much can these guys do in a final? Dylan Moore against, your Callahans, your Tom Greens, Toby Green goes in there. So I think it's going to be a tough ask for Hawthorn going away. And with that being said, I think the Giants will pip them. Freo versus Gold Coast. I would love to tip Gold Coast. I'm more than happy to get on that train. But this is simply a case of Gold Coast are happy to be there. It's the first final series since their inception. They're happy to be there. Whereas Freo have been here a few times. They're at home. They want to go further than just an elimination final. And I think that mentality, the discrepancy in mentality is going to be the reason why Fremantle win. And I also think Freo's defense is going to hold up really well against Gold Coast forwards. Gold Coast forwards are super dangerous. When Humphrey's on, Ben Long, Ben King, those are the main goal scorers. But I think the Freo defenders in Clark, Pearce, Ryan will be able to curtail them. And big game for Caleb Sarong. Freo. Okay. This is a tough one. Geelong, Brisbane at a neutral stadium at the MCG. The Lions used to have a bit of a hoodoo at the G, but not anymore. They don't care where they play anymore. In fact, they have a very good record, a very good recent record away from home, and they've won at the MCG. This is really tough because I actually think these are the two best teams in it. I think that Brisbane have too much star power. Your Cam Rayners, your Hugh McCluggage, they always seem to just bop up with goals. Those mid-forwards that just manage to kick goals, plus all their options inside 50, such as, Logan Morris's, your Charlie Cameron, who seems to be back in a bit of form. I'm going to actually tip Brisbane at the G away. Then we get into our 2 elimination finals, and it's Collingwood and GWS at the G in a final for, I'm going to say, the 4th time, 2018, 2019, 2023, and this would be the 4th time this happens at the G. This is... I reckon the Giants are better than Collingwood when they're up and going, especially their mids. Like Collingwood have just been killed in centre balance, especially. I'm gonna, think that if the Giants get up against the Hawks, they got the momentum, and I'm gonna actually tip the Giants here, and Collingwood go out in straight sets. Would love nothing more than that, but they're probably going to beat Adelaide now that I say that and probably win the flag. Nah, but hopefully not. Oh, okay. The Giants go through to a prelim. They've done it before, the Giants. They've done it before from that 5 to 8 range. They win the first two and make a prelim. Geelong Freo in a final. Probably at the MCG, even though it should be at GMHBA. Now, my thinking here again is Freo might not give a fuck. Like, they might just say, hey, Geelong, we don't care. Like, they beat Collingwood at the MCG, and I can see Freo pulling something out of nowhere and beating Geelong because, like I said, against Gold Coast, they have the defense, to play against a Geelong. The last time they played was in round 1 where Murphy Reid kicked those 4, but obviously Geelong smashed them. I reckon Freo could be a bit of a surprise packet, and I'm going to go the double straight sets, Geelong and Collingwood, see you later. Freo progress into a prelim. And have a look at these prelims. No Victorian teams, Adelaide Freo and Brisbane GWS. Jeez. Adelaide Freo, first prelim at home. I think Adelaide are going to win that game at home. They're tough to beat. Oh, Freo, would I ride that train the whole way through? No, I'm going to tip Adelaide. They make it to their first grand final since 2017. And then the Giants and Brisbane. The Giants, aside from that semi-final, they actually have a pretty good record against Brisbane. But I think Brisbane at the Gabba would be way too tough. I actually stand correct. They have been beaten at the Gabba by the Giants and by Sydney as well. So maybe I should reconsider that. No, but I think in a prelim, Brisbane still get up and my grand final becomes Adelaide and Brisbane. In a grand final, I think Adelaide, they don't have the experience. And I mentioned this, I think, a few weeks ago in a little video on the story that I said, I think Adelaide will make the grand final, but I just don't think they'll have the experience. And a grand final is such a different game. If people want to say it's just another game, it's not. It's actually not, because how many sides have come to the last Saturday in September and absolutely capitulated after having such a successful season? So I'm going to tip Brisbane as my grand final. Of my premiership side for 2025, they go back-to-back. And my Norm Smith is none other than Hugh McCluggage. He's had an incredible season, and I think it's going to be topped off with a Norm Smith medal. He'll kick 2 goals and have 30-plus disposals. But I don't know, is that what I want? Do I want no Victorian teams in prelims? Probably, because then I don't have to cop shit from any Collingwood fans or Hawthorn fans if they do make it to the last game, the grand final. All right, that's my finals predictions. I think I've gone Brisbane to recap as my premiership side. I've got Collingwood and Geelong straight set exits. Giants and Freo to make it to prelims, but unfortunately be knocked out. And then Adelaide and Brisbane as my grand final matchup. And then Brisbane take home the Chockies, go back-to-back with Hugh McCluggage as my Norm Smith medal. Let's see how it plays out. Nonetheless, very excited. Stress-free as a D's fan. I don't have to worry about finals for probably the 18th time in my 21 years of existence. So keen to see what happens. No pressure, but can't wait. And we're back on the podcast on Monday night.